Hi kids, I am so excited about this week's lesson for you because it's all about God using the most unlikely people to bring about his will. Rahab was a woman that wasn't living a very godly life. She would have been the last person that anyone would think God would use to do his will. But that's the thing about God. He uses the most unlikely people to remind us that it's all about him and not about us. Watch this video from Saddleback Church and I'll talk to you again in a minute.
Stories of the Bible, Rahab and the Spies.
This is Rahab.
Hi.
Rahab lived in the town of Jericho in the Promised Land. Rahab was not an Israelite and she made bad choices. But God had a plan for Rahab, even though she was a sinner.
All right.
Now God told his people, the Israelites,
Hey, that's us.
to go into the Promised Land. So Joshua sent 2 spies to search the land around the city of Jericho. The 2 spies came to Rahab's house to stay the night. But the king of Jericho heard that there were spies in his city, so he sent orders for Rahab to bring them out. But Rahab hid the spies
Hello.
Bring him out, you hear?
and told the king's men that it was true that the men were at her house, but she did not know where they were now.
I don't know. But
She told the king's men to go quickly to find the spies because they could not have gone far.
go now.
Oh, right.
So the king's men rushed out to the city in pursuit of the Israelite spies. All the while, the Israelites hid on Rahab's roof. So Rahab went to them and said, I know the Lord has given you this land. We have heard of the great acts that God has done for you. Your God is the God of all the heavens and the earth. So please swear to me that you will be kind to my family. The spies agreed to this, and Rahab helped them escape from the city. Before they left, they told Rahab to tie a scarlet rope to the window.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oops.
This rope would serve as a mark for Rahab's house and would remind the Israelites of their promise to her.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And so the spies were on their way. For 3 days they hid from the king's men who were looking for them. Finally, they returned to Joshua and told them all they had seen. Rahab was remembered for her faithfulness, for she had given a friendly welcome to the spies and put her trust in the one true God.
You are just a kid. Can God use you? Well, you see, that's the point of this story. If God can use Rahab, then he can use anybody. Rahab is now a famous woman throughout all of history, not because she was amazing or good, but because she was brave enough to allow God to use her and to make a stand for what she believed in. Rahab put a red scarf in her window as a sign that she was on God's side. The red scarf was her way of standing up for what she believed in. I wonder, is God asking you to stand up for him this week? I'd love you to think about this question. How can you stand up for Jesus this week? If God can use Rahab to bring about his purposes, then he can use you. All we need to do is be brave enough to stand up for who we believe in, Jesus. On our website, we've got some questions that you can use to think through and chat through this story. There's also some activity ideas like making some binoculars so you can pretend to be spies. Or you could find some red ribbon and stick it up in your bedroom to to remind you to stand up for Jesus this week. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.